Okay, we are recording. Yep. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Motorcycling Australia Women's Committee Women in Motorcycling interview. I'm going to go again because I need to know how to say that. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Motorcycling Australia Women's Committee Women in Motorcycling interview. I'm really stoked today to have Ebony Neilson, or Benny, with us. She is a fellow Queenslander and we've raced enduro together for the past few years. Well, not for the past few years, but the few years before that. And she's doing some really great things. So I'm really stoked to have her on. Welcome, Benny.
Thanks, Gemma.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you are currently doing in motorcycling?
So predominantly racing enduro, the Queensland Enduro, and I try and get to as many AORCs as possible. Doing a little bit of hard enduro in the last sort of year or so that's been fun. But yeah, just trying to ride as much as I can and a little bit of motocross here and there, and yeah, just have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you seem to always be taking every opportunity. I see, yeah, haven't got motocross. The hard enduro stuff obviously is starting to take off in Australia, and you are definitely at the forefront. I know you had a really good result up at Townsville last year. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I went up to Townsville to race an event called Moss Maniacs. So you can ride it like sort of Pony Express style with a partner. So I had a guy that I was partnered up with, and 2 weeks before he said he couldn't make it, something come up and he couldn't make it. So I was really stressing, was really trying to find another partner, and no one really wanted to partner up with a girl, I guess, for a hard enduro. So I ended up riding Ironman, and it's a 5-hour race, so it was pretty full on, 5 hours straight. But yeah, ended up just kept plugging away the whole day and didn't stop riding, and ended up coming in, winning the ladies class. So I did 7 laps. The girl behind me only did 1 lap. So yeah, I won by 6 laps. So that was really cool. And I come 6th out of all the Ironman, and 12th outright out of all the teams in the Ironman. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was fun.
Yeah, that is a really, really, really cool result. I remember seeing it on like socials pop up with your name so high up the list, and definitely reposted that one. It was very cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect to come in that high up the list, and I had sort of no idea where I was. I knew I was passing dudes because we all, started on the line together, and they all just took off, and I just took my time, and I kept slowly passing them back, 3-hour mark, 4-hour mark, and had no idea where I'd finished. And then, yeah, when I got to see the results, I was pretty stoked.
That's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit more about extreme enduro, because it is something that in Australia starting to grow, and in the world, on the world stage, I should say, in the last couple of years, it's really kind of hit the next level as well, because it used to be a lot of random really cool events like Erzberg and Romaniacs, but now they have a series, the West Series, and I really feel like people are a lot more aware of extreme enduro or hard enduro these days. So can you explain a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, so it has become really popular, and there's so many people go to the events, but it's just long days on the bike really, and big hills and creeks and rocks, and yeah, but it's good fun. They have classes now like bronze, silver and gold type classes, so everyone can go and have a go, and the bronze class is not super gnarly, but it is definitely hard work and a long day on the bike. And then those guys that do the gold class are just insane. Those hills that you see them ride up, like you can't walk up, and they're riding their motorcycle up them, so it's pretty awesome.
Cool. And so that race, were you on the 252 stroke or the 150?
I was on the 150, yeah. So I've just recently got a 252 stroke, so I've only ridden it a few times now. But yeah, the 150 is awesome. It's so nice and light, but I'm definitely keen to give it a go on the 250 and have a little bit more bottom end, and hopefully I can do a bit better.
Yeah, cool. So moving off of the hard enduro stuff, just normal enduro, tell us a bit about what you've been doing the last couple of years, what your best results have been, and what you love about AORCs and QORCs, the Queensland Championships as well.
Yeah, so I've tried to get to as many AORCs as possible. I do work full time, so it is a little bit difficult to try and get days off just here and there for travel, but I definitely get to all the QRCs, and this year I won my 6th Queensland Championship, so that was really awesome, and I won all 5 rounds and won with 1 round still remaining, so that's when I got to drop the last round and go up and race at Townsville, so I was really happy that I was in that position to be able to do that and go do something different. But yeah, love the enduro scene, much prefer it over motocross. And I guess it's something that, yeah, I've always done, and yeah, just love to go and race all the events and travel and sightsee and yeah, hang out with everyone as well.
That's really cool. I would have to check. I think I have 7 or 8 Queensland Championships, so you're very close.
I'll try and match that.
Yeah, then you'll have me. I was going to say then, so we also coach together a little bit. So I use Benny as a co-coach for some of my Fox Women's Off-Road campouts. And I guess, you know, when did you start racing Queensland Championships, Queensland Enduro Championships?
So I started riding like just the Queensland series when I was in 2011, so I would have been about 13 years old, and then just from there, like I guess I started doing just a couple of races a year, and now like yes, not so much last year because of COVID, but 2019 I spent a lot of weekends traveling and racing, so yeah, just sort of growing like year by year, and try and fit as much in now and get to as many races.
Yeah, cool. So 2011, definitely we overlapped there racing, because I remember you coming on the scene and you've always had a lot of really great technical skills. But for the past couple of years, your speed has really jumped up there as well. So what can you say, like how have you learned all those technical skills? And then how do you think that you've got that speed in behind you now as well? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I guess I just spend a lot of time riding with guys, and a lot of guys that are a lot better than me, so they tow me along all the time and help me, and just I think the last few years I've really started training, so that was something I used to just sort of ride on the weekends and go roll up to a race, and yeah, as soon as I started training I just realised that I'm not crashing my brains out everywhere on the track, and I'm staying on, and my speed just sort of come from that. And I think also racing a little bit of motocross as well, so I've spent the last couple of years just racing motocross in between the enduros, and I think you get a lot more aggressive and those girls push you along. Some of those girls are fast, so yeah, and that's helped and crossed over really well into the Queensland and AORC stuff.
Yeah, definitely. You need to be able to ride everything to ride enduro well, hey?
Yeah.
And being the same corner again and again and again on a motocross track is what gets you fast.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes people can really focus too much on trail riding, and it can make you slower because you don't know what's around the next corner, so you're never riding at that 100%. So
yeah,
well done, because your improvement over the last couple of years has just, yeah, it's really there. So congratulations on all the training.
Thank you.
So my next question was going to be about, so coaching. You have been doing a lot more coaching. You got your license about a year or so ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. And so tell us a bit about it.
So yeah, I really enjoyed the coaching side of things, and especially coaching like the kids. I find that really rewarding, and some of the younger girls, because they just really look up to us women that do the coaching, because there is getting more of us now. But yeah, to begin with, there was only sort of probably yourself as a coach for the girls, but yeah, I really enjoy the coaching side of things, and I think it really makes you think about what you actually do on a dirt bike. Like there's so many things we do that we don't realize we're doing, and when you're trying to explain to someone how to do it, you have to really think, oh, how did I actually do that, and what was I doing with my clutch and my brake, and where was I standing? You have to really think about your riding a lot more, and I think that almost improves your own riding as well, because you can emphasize those things a lot more when you're training, and becomes so much more natural when you're racing. But yeah, it's definitely rewarding.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Makes you a better rider yourself. So not only are you getting the reward of coaching other people, you're actually getting better yourself. So congrats. Yeah. And so your boyfriend is Adam Giles, and you've been together for a while. So Adam is keen on the hard enduro, and he's got some mad skills going these days.
Yes.
So you do a bit of extreme or like hard enduro training with Adam too? You coach up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's crazy. So I guess that's where I started doing it. Just started following him around through the bush, and he was dragging me up stuff and down stuff, and what I couldn't get out of, he'd have to try and pull me out of. And yeah, but no, it's awesome to learn from him. His skills have just grown heaps in the last few years as well, and it's awesome to see him doing well, but also I can pick up on things when I watch him as well, and I'd love to definitely be able to ride a lot more with him, but I do kind of hold him back a little bit as well. So, but no, it's good when I can go riding with those guys, and they push me along a lot, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think that obviously with all the women's coaching that I do, so many women, they hold themselves back because they're scared about holding the guys back. And I find the right group of people that are going to, encourage you and jump in with them, because that's definitely how you get to be a faster rider. So it's cool that you have that attitude, that you're willing just to jump in and give it a red hot crack. Yeah,
it's great to go riding with the boys. You learn so much from them, because generally I find the boys are just a lot more naturally good at it, some of them, but they just jump on a bike. Like my brother jumps on a bike once every so many weeks and can just ride so well, and I find if I'm off the bike for a couple of weeks I just like struggle. He's just naturally, and it's so annoying, but awesome to go riding with him and learn those things.
Yeah, cool. So a couple last things before we get on to our 6 questions that we ask all the ladies on here. So you work full-time as well. So what is your full-time job?
So I work for Bendigo Bank. So I sit on the little teller station and take people's money and give people money. So, but obviously so much involved with that as well, in the background. But they've been really good with my racing, taking random days off here and there. And, but it's definitely sometimes a challenge when you get home from work and don't feel like training or don't feel like going and doing bike maintenance. It's, bit difficult, but keeps me a little bit motivated too, I think, being super busy all the time.
Yeah, definitely. If you're busy with something, it rolls on to the next thing and you're staying motivated. And you showed up to a Fox Runners off-road camp out one Friday afternoon in your Bendigo outfit. And guys, if you saw Benny in her outfit as opposed to in her moto gear, you're like, oh, wow.
It's very different, and a lot of customers that come into work, especially more so at the moment that I've got an injury, always ask me, what happened, and when I tell them that it was on a dirt bike, they're pretty surprised. I had one guy ask me if it happened when I was spectating, and I'm like, no, I was actually riding.
So I'll hold up your wrist so we can see. Injured at the moment. What happened there?
So I went to Conondale Motocross practice day 2 weeks ago, and was heading out on my second practice and come around for the second lap, and we were just like heading down the start straight into the first corner, and a rock flicked off in some roost from the guy in front of me and hit me straight in the finger, and it's shattered my finger, unfortunately. Super unlucky because I had hand guards and everything, and it's just gone straight over the top of the hand guards, and straight into my finger, split my finger open, and left me with a shattered finger.
And terrible timing. I mean, obviously there wasn't much happening last year. It totally could have been then.
That's right.
We're only a couple of weeks now off of the first. There was a hard enduro that you were hoping to do but may not get to now, and then the QORC, which you're really hoping to just be able to roll around at work. And do well at this. So bad timing, hey?
Yeah. So the hard enduro was 6 weeks from the day that I did it. So I'm hoping I go back to the specialist 3 days before the hard enduro. So I'm hoping he's going to tell me it's all good. And then the following weekend being the QRC, I just hope that I can roll around, hopefully get some points, or even better, just put up with the pain and hopefully win. We'll see. But got a brand new bike, so that I've only ridden 4 times, so it's going to take it's going to be a lot different, so it's going to be a challenge, I think, the first race, but hopefully we'll be right.
Yes, well, my fingers are crossed for you, and I'm sure everyone else's are too.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so we have some questions here that we ask all the ladies that come on for these interviews. So what was the driving force behind you becoming involved in the sport?
So I have a brother that's a year older than me. He got a bike for his 5th birthday. So I guess I used to just watch him, and one day he told me to jump on the back with him. We had a little XR50. So yeah, he told me to jump on the back with him, and he took me for a lap around the yard. And I guess from there, I just fell in love with it. My dad's always been super supportive. So when he was younger, he spent some time racing over in Europe. So he did 6 days, and he's raced 4 days and Fink and all that sort of thing. So he was, really supportive. We never pushed into racing, but I guess me and my brother just loved it and used to do a lot of trail riding and, just started racing. So I used to race the little XR50 around Coolum when I was about 6. And then, got a new bike, and I got a KTM 65 and just never really enjoyed it and sort of fell away from riding a little bit. I started playing softball and touch footy, and I tried music. I tried playing, the keyboard and the violin and the trumpet, and just none of that ever worked. My brother started racing again, probably in like 2010-ish, and I used to go along and watch him and ask Dad again if I could get another bike, and got another bike, and the rest is kind of history. This is when I started racing in 2011, and it's gone from there. So just really supportive. It's been in the family, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. So I've just stuck at it.
Yeah, nice. And so you grew up like Glasshouse Mountains area, hey? So lots of really good riding.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So mum and dad, we moved from in town out to like just about the base of Mount Beulah, so backed right onto the forestry. So me and my brother used to go out after school and go trail riding, and they have 20 acres, so we used to have like little tracks on their block, and it was really convenient and really good for us growing up that we could have that space and pretty much do anything without the neighbours worrying.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, our next question is, what kind of challenges do you face as a female, and how do you overcome them in the sport?
Yeah. So I think 2021 is a pretty awesome time for women in motorcycling. I think the whole women's community has changed a lot in the last few years. And I think you've got a lot more support now than we did a couple of years ago. And we're really lucky to have you running events and women's only events and coaching and trail rides. And so, it's been awesome. And women now have the junior girls have their own class at the AORC now. Pretty much any race we go to has our own class. So I think, it's awesome to be a woman in the sport now. I spent a lot of my junior years, especially in like the mini lights class, as the only girl, where now you don't really see that anymore. So that's awesome. But I guess something I find a little bit of a challenge is the way we're kind of perceived in the media, like especially like Instagram and Facebook and that sort of social media. There's so many chicks on bikes and babes on bikes pages, and I find it really difficult sometimes that the girls like Taylor Jones and Mackenzie Tricker and all us girls that race and yourself, we don't really see the light of day on there. There's this image that's on there that is pretty false, I think, and we're the ones out there doing a lot of hard work and putting in the training and racing, and we just don't kind of seem to exist. We're kind of, women are portrayed as these girls that sort of stand next to their bike and take pictures and do a nice pose, and I think that's really fake.
Yeah, definitely.
So something,
up against the age-old sex sells. I think it is changing a little bit, and it takes time, but I think that Motorcycling Australia has some really cool things planned for 2021, and this women's committee, it's all about trying to get you girls in front of the media more, because that's where it really starts.
And it has really grown the last few years. A couple of years ago, we didn't really exist. We didn't really make it into any magazines or any AORC results or any of the videos. And I think, the last few years have been really cool. And, like the Women's Committee is really expanding it for us. So that is awesome.
Yeah, and all you awesome girls just have to keep doing exactly what you're doing. Yeah, and stay true to yourselves and... really is.
I know. I can't at the moment, but
alrighty, so number 3, what is the greatest gift that the sport and industry has given you?
Definitely going back to the coaching side of things. I think it's been awesome to be able to encourage the younger riders, and that's been a real gift to be able to share my knowledge and passion for the sport with them, and it's really helped me build my confidence as well. So I was a pretty quiet sort of kid, and even growing up I'm not super out there and super loud, but it's been awesome to be able to build my confidence and my knowledge and pass that on to them. So I've really enjoyed doing that the last year or so, and in a couple of weeks' time I get to be a part of the JEDS program again, so the Junior Enduro Development Series, so I get to be a coach for them again. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I just find the coaching side of things so rewarding, and it's been awesome.
Cool. And there are so many really awesome juniors coming through. I'm sure there always are, but I've just noticed at the moment so many cool juniors coming through. So
and so many young girls come, to the coaching days on their, KLX 110 and never really hardly ridden a bike before, and you end up seeing them racing on the second day. And it's awesome how much their confidence grows and they realize it's not that scary. So
that's awesome.
A lot of fun.
And that's a really cool movement actually that Queensland has put on, the Junior Enduro Development Series. I haven't been involved in it myself or anything, but it seems like a really, really, really cool thing. And they've got, the number one Queensland girl at the moment, and Zoe as well, number 2. Coaching and showing the girls that the girls are there doing it as well. So I think that's such a brilliant thing in Motorcycling Queensland.
For sure,
Alrighty. This is a little bit of an overlap of number 3, so see how you go. But what do you love the most about our sport?
I think it's probably a lot of people within the motorsport industry are probably going to say a similar thing, but definitely in enduro, it's that community I think you're involved in and the friendships that you make within the sport. I think a lot of them last a lifetime, really. I know, like my dad, some of the friends that he's met when he's racing, and even people that he met internationally that he still has contact with today. So I think that is a big part of our sport and a big part of why a lot of us do it, because it is very social, and at the end of racing you can come back in and you all get around the fire at night time and then go out there the next day and in full race mode. But we're all friends off the track, and also the places it takes you as well. Like I've been lucky enough to be able to travel overseas and watch some big events over there, and the people you meet, and places of Australia that I probably wouldn't know existed if I didn't race dirt bikes. So that's a pretty cool part of it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. What life skills have you developed as a result of motorcycling?
I think it takes a lot of independence and patience. So when you're out racing, it's just you and your dirt bike, and you have to make some pretty big decisions sometimes by yourself, and you have no one else to fall back on. And I think so it's helped me be really independent. And in 2019 I spent a lot of time going to races on my own as well, and a lot of time at home on my own while Adam was overseas. So I had to do a lot of my own mechanical stuff and spend a lot of Friday nights traveling on my own. And so I felt it's made me a lot more independent, and also patience. So when you're learning something, it rarely ever works first time. So if it does, that's awesome, but it normally doesn't work the second time. So just trying things over and over again, and I have to be really patient sometimes with my mechanical side of things. I do get a little bit hot-headed sometimes when something doesn't work, or can't get the tire off. So that's been a big part of it as well, trying to be patient. So
that's actually 2 answers I don't think we've had yet: independence and patience. And
that's good.
Yeah, and they're wonderful answers. And I've definitely T-bar impressions on things in the shed too.
And tire levers sometimes go flying, or sometimes I just have to leave it and come back to it later because I'm too cranky.
Definitely. But wonderful answers. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. It's actually 7 questions, so we've got 2 more. I really like this one. So if you could write a letter to your 16-year-old self, what message would you give?
Definitely tell myself to train, because that's something I didn't do. And I remember speaking to you years ago, I think it was at Kilkivan, and you were telling me about how you do yoga, that sort of thing. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. But just, yeah, never really did it. But yeah, in the last few years when I have started training, like we spoke about before, I have come a long way since then. So yeah, definitely tell myself to train, because it is super important. And I hope if any young girls are listening to this that don't train, I hope they do. But yeah, it was difficult when I was that age, because you know, you are going through high school and trying to work a part-time job after school and on the weekends, so it's hard to try and fit everything in. But even if it's something small, yeah, definitely train.
Yep.
And practice.
Yep. Start that ball rolling, hey, so that you make those lifestyle changes when you're young, and then you'll always make time for it.
Yeah, and I guess I probably wasn't super serious at like 16. I just probably did it a bit more for fun, but I wish I probably took it a little more seriously. But I guess if you're not motivated to do it in that way at that age, it's, you know, hard to take it that way. But yeah, definitely have fun with it too. You got to be enjoying it as well. It's got to be something you want to do.
Definitely, otherwise it won't happen, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is our last question, and it is, what is the most popular question you get asked about motorcycling?
Yeah, I guess it's a shock when anyone finds out that we ride motorbikes, because while we're all racing bikes on the weekend, we all look like girls that ride dirt bikes, but then when we're out at work and that sort of thing, we definitely don't. But something, I guess, people, when they don't have a lot of knowledge about the sport, and especially guys, I think they could be like, oh, do you ride a 450? And it's like, no, I don't ride a 450. And they're like, oh, why don't you ride a 450? And it's just this trying to explain to them that, no, I definitely don't need to ride a 450. And yeah, I have been doing a lot of time on a 150, and it's, you know, it's quite good too. So yeah, and then at the moment, it's definitely what happened to your hand at work. It's a question that I think just about every customer asks me, what happened to your hand? So it's just explaining that story every day. But yeah, definitely the bike size is a huge one.
Yeah, definitely. So that wraps up our questions and our interview. And like, I've known you for nearly a decade, or probably even more than a decade, and I've learned some stuff about you today that I didn't know. And like, I had no idea your dad raced 6 days. That's really cool. Very awesome. Yeah, I think this has been a really fun interview, and I hope that everyone gets a lot out of it. And you're at that level where you've been doing it for a long time, but you also have a long time left in you, and I'm excited to see,
I hope so.
Yeah, where it goes. And you know, I hope you get to lots of AORCs this year, and I'm going to try and get to a few, like the QMP, of course. Try and get myself to Kyogle and give the juniors that I've been coaching some support, but also stick my head in on the ladies as well.
Yeah.
And I think I've had long enough away from it now that I can show up in a different role and not feel like, I used to do this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you at some ARCs and cheer you on, and just good luck with the hand.
Thank you.
Your hand doesn't get better, it means you get to come and coach with me at the Fox.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, but I am, of course, still hoping that it does mend and you get to go race, because that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks very much, Benny. Keep it up. And your Instagram is?
Ebony Neilson _632.
Cool, because Benny does do a lot of really cool trick stuff. So one of the most recent ones is mono. It stays there. Benny is off the back of it, claps and spins around, and then grabs it and hops back on. So there's lots of really cool stuff to see on Benny's Instagram, so definitely give her a follow.
Yeah, I like to learn some of the little party tricks, and it's cool because a lot of the hard enduro girls, it goes through all of us. So one of them will see it somewhere and try it, and then we all have to try it, and we all put it up on our social media. So
that's very fun. Cool. Yeah, wonderful. All right, thanks, Benny.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and then the recording will stop.